Welcome, Sojourners. You have found yourself a cozy place here at Sojourners Awake. I'm Jonathan, and this is our production of The Bookish and the Brave. This is part 2 of the mysterious missing pages, and in this episode, the pages become found. But how do they do so? Certainly not without incident, as you will certainly see. So let's continue with the Sojourners in the middle of the action. And so for now, our story continues.
And at that, I'm gonna just reach down and kind of stir it up and cup it up in one hand.
Both of them are apprehended now, is that right?
That's what it looks like, yeah.
He'll relax, take a breath. Well done.
Squeak.
Squeak is breathing heavy and really distracted. And he's, are they gone? Regal, are you okay, Regal?
Oh yes, it hurt a bit, but I have scars all over. It's hardly an issue.
I saw them stab you, and Dahren'L also. Are you guys okay?
Yes, I will be fine, my friend.
Let me go, you twit!
Dare you? So rude!
What do we do with him? Why are you keeping him?
Well, I'm going to take these two into custody because clearly they do not belong here. And if there are two here, then I can only assume that there are more. So,
More?
who would I refer to again? As far as like the security head. That's Kalon. Kalon must get word of this.
You think there's more here now? I don't want to see any more of those.
I do not see any more here, but I would definitely keep your wits about you because these little creatures, as we have just witnessed, are quite tricky to the eye. So just be careful as you are gathering up these papers on the floor.
Always ask them.
Sniffle down within Rose's grasp says, "The world's not big enough for more than two of us. But brother to brother. It's insulting that you think we were more than a two-man job." "Two pixie job," says the one inside the blanket.
You have caused quite a mess, it appears.
Ah, thank you. That's very kind of you to say.
That was hardly a compliment, but I see that you took it that way anyways.
We took a lot of your powers a certain way.
Didn't damage books. Books are for reading and not for damaging. That's not very nice of you. That's why I had to shoot you with those missiles. I'm sorry, I didn't want to, but you were hurting my friends and you were damaging books, and that's not good.
Damaged books, damaged brownies. It's a damaging world. The chaos is all magic, isn't it?
I think you should go away.
Dahren'L, I got this for you.
I
And
agree. Yeah.
I thrust the second brownie at him.
While you're doing that, Geraldine says, "Oh, the end of the book." She begins to turn the last page.
We missed the ending? Oh no.
Squeak.
I'm gonna hurry over there.
Squeak has already determined this is magical, so when she says she's at the end of the book and she's turning the last page, he's going to take 2 steps back.
Regal.
Regal is mostly just focused on the brownies. He's attending to Dahren'L and making sure that he has everything he needs with that.
Yeah, Dahren'L, what of Regal, would you mind holding my glaive? And he'll take a knee and shove the other one in, and he's just tying up the curtain so that both are inside the curtain.
You tie up both inside the curtain. Make a sleight of hand check to see how well you can secure this prison. Keep in mind
That's
that
a
one
nat 20
Oh,
plus 3, so 23.
Ain't no slip knots here. It's super secure. This guy's a professional.
Like he's done this.
Where did you learn that knot?
Oh, well, this simple thing, I learned that back home. It's one of the finer knots that my family has taught me growing up.
I see that. I have a working knowledge of knot, but I've not knots, but I've not seen one quite like that before. I'm glad to hear that it comes from your heritage. I've not met many half-elves in my life.
Ah, that is quite peculiar. I actually come from a community of half-elves and other half creatures. More of a refuge to beat the stigmatism of segregation.
I'm interested in learning of this place. If I could go sometime, if I have the opportunity.
Perhaps one day, my friend.
Rose and Squeak, as you approach Geraldine, left unattended, she has just torn through these pages, going one by one after the other, and she peels back the layers. She turns back and looks at you expectingly, excitingly. Rose, I made it all the way to the end of the book. What have you been doing? And you see beyond the book, there is a bronze breastplate of ancient design in a recessed wall. Seems to glow within the cavern. But as she turns the last page of the book, there is the large face of a man with the mane of a lion. Its mouth is open wide with rows and rows of sharp teeth. Its lion's body is splayed across the page with a large scorpion tail and wings. Its eyes begin to track with you. The guardian peels from the pages. One paw steps into the room.
Uh-oh.
The manticore roars toward you, Squeak, yelling out, "Intruder!" And it smiles, ready to make a meal out of this trespassing. I was like, wait, what? Roll initiative. Squeak the manticore opens up its large mouth with razor-sharp teeth, its scorpion barb dripping with poison. As said before, it has targeted you as the trespasser. But how do you respond?
Within reach of this thing, because he was backing up, but you put him right there. So if he's within reach, that's fine. That'll determine what I do.
Yes, you're right there within reach for sure.
All right, so Squeak is going to, all of a sudden he's gonna squeak like he did, and then instantly there's 4 squeaks standing there.
So cool.
And then all 4 squeaks try to back away.
Nice. How far do you want to go?
All the way to the back of the room.
Squeak, you back away. Dahren'L, how do you respond?
Yeah, he's gonna finish the knot. Ah, thank you, Regal. And he grabs his glaive back and pulls himself up and turns around and sees this thing. Is the front door still open to the
Front
shop?
door has shut. It clicked behind you, and a bell rang when you entered in.
He's going to cast the 2 brownies to the corner out of relative harm's way.
Dum, dum. Ow.
And he's going to run up alongside Rose with his glaive. Yeah, I'm gonna try using the charger feat, and I'm gonna dash at him, and I'm gonna try and push him back into the doorway.
Armor class is 14.
It's 8 plus a 6, so exactly 14. So he's gonna charge, and he is just going to lower his shoulder, just barrel right into, and kind of push upward as he pushes off to stagger the beast. So the beast will move back 10 feet.
Ooh.
I'm gonna use my action surge. Gives me 1 additional action for this round until I do a short rest, and I'm gonna try and close the last page of the book to see if that traps the beast back in it.
Very cool. Dahren'L, as you put both hands onto the book and you attempt to slam it shut with the manticore still inside, the door rebounds jarring in your hands, and says, "You are not Timothy Tooth. You may not lock this door." The manticore responds with bright-colored teeth and begins laughing. "You're not the Tooth. You are also a trespasser." And rears to lunge at you as well. Next up, Regal. Having heard all this, how do you respond?
Regal will move to a place where he has a good line of sight to the manticore and will cast Phantasmal Force on it. DC 14 intelligence saving throw.
With a -2 intelligence. Ooh, natural 20 at a 18.
Bummer. All right. Nothing happens.
Oh, something happens. Please describe how you fail and how you attract its attention.
So Regal moves around behind a bookshelf and peers around the corner and mutters the incantation for this spell. He's intending to plant the image of a giant eagle into this creature's mind. And as he is going through the incantation, he's supposed to screech like an eagle, but his voice just doesn't cut it. He goes, and then it's gone. It's over.
The manticore, hearing you squawk, just laughs, begins loading up its charged spikes in your direction. And it is the manticore's turn. It will use its multi-attack, but first it moves through in one paw, just pushes aside the door, pushing you to the side. Dahren'L, it's going to make a bite attack against you. That's a 20 to hit, with 7 points of damage, clamping on your shoulder.
Can I use Brace as a reaction?
Yes, you may.
Weapon. So I have my glaive reset, and I'm going to strike at him with my glaive.
Go for it.
So I'm going to, it's like a dash back and then a strike. So that is a 16 plus 6. So
Hit.
22. 8 plus my action surge dice. Is action surge a d8?
Superiority is a d8.
Or superiority? And that is a 4. So 4, 8, 12.
12 points of damage. The glaive cuts across it, right through the lip. And at that moment, it shoots off 2 spikes in the direction of Regal. A 14 and a 22.
Both hit.
18 points of damage to Regal. 2 spikes.
Ow.
The manticore is then going to continue moving through the room to get out of the door. It moves right past you, Dahren'L, which is you've used all your reaction already. But Rose, it does enter into your melee range. Speaking of Rose, it's now your turn.
Rose has been panicking since this thing emerged. And as she panics, she kind of leaps back and just beep! And the hair on her arm kind of bursts out thicker black fur, and her fingers elongate into claws, and her pupils go into slits as she shifts for her bonus action. And with my shifting, I have the ability to use my reaction to pop 10 feet away without an opportunity attack from the creature. Since he ended his turn in my space, I am going to then hop backwards 10 feet. And I'm panicking, so I just point my rapier at it and just go boom, 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 and cast Thunderwave on it. It is a 14.
Oof, what kind of save is it?
A Constitution saving throw.
23 it scores.
Oof. So it takes half damage.
Okay.
5 and 7 is 12, so it takes 6 points of damage. And
6.
there's just this loud concussion sound, and everything within 15 feet of it is affected.
Books go flying everywhere. Papers just sprawling. Now, after all that hard work, did you back up into the door, Clarity Rose, or did you back away from the door?
That is an excellent question. It looks like the most convenient way to go would be back into the door.
Through that mysterious closet?
Yeah, and I'm thinking she's not smart enough to know better.
Okay.
Because the corner would be smarter, but doesn't want to be a cornered animal either. So yeah, I imagine she would have backed into that open door, not thinking about the possibilities.
All right, so as you back up into this door, the pages begin to fold into you. You can feel yourself becoming part of the book. I need you to make, well, lucky for you, a DC 19 charisma saving throw, or become imprisoned.
That's not cocked. That's a natural 1.
How appropriate. Having been so being so curious with this book, you back up into it, boom, 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 but the thunder doesn't manifest as loud as you would have seen, and all of a sudden you begin to feel yourself becoming two-dimensional as you peel into the pages. Squeak, Regal, you see Rose just becoming one with this book, and then trapped inside, on the last page, there you are, rapier in hand. Geraldine says, "Oh, I was just getting to know her." Top of the round.
Girlfriend?
Top of the round. The brownies are trying to squirm out. I don't think they can. Now they scored an 11. They're trying to cut through. Oh, no. Oh, this guys are turned us into real Houdinis. This is terrible. They're bouncing around trying to escape, but they're relishing in all the chaos. Squeak. The Manticore still looks at you like the main trespasser.
Well, now Squeak has 4 of me standing there, and all 4 of us are shooting 3 magic missiles at him. Oh, and rolled horrible. That's going to be 8 points of damage.
Nevertheless, bam, 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 it's cutting through this Manticore. You can see now that it's not entirely, although a real creature, as it is demolished, parts of it turn into little bits of singed and tindered paper, leaving behind small little pages of writing on it. It seems as if this book affected this creature greatly. Squeak, do you stand your ground?
I know, Squeak's gonna back up again.
All right. Dahren'L, Manticore pushes past you.
He's gonna follow right after it and do like a forward lunging strike with his glaive, trying to just cut it along its back. It's a 17 plus 6. Oof, that is a 5.
5 damage?
Yes.
5 points of damage. You slash through the backside. It roars, but it does not turn its aggression on Squeak. But Regal, it is now your turn.
Regal likes how Squeak's magic missiles are working. He's going to fire off some magic missiles of his own at 2nd level. So 4 rays come out of the top of his staff, or magic missiles come out of the top of his staff, and strike the Manticore for a total of 15 damage. Backs up to try to find cover somewhere, because getting hit by projectile spikes is not fun.
There's plenty of sofas stacked with mounds of books that you can hide behind. When you tear through this creature, you notice that the previous wounds have begun to reassemble, almost as if someone's scribing back its flesh together.
Okay, Regal will move toward cover, but also toward the part of the room where he left off the Timothy Tooth book.
As you scramble towards that book, you see that it is 1/3 complete. You look through the binding and suddenly a light bulb goes off in your head. Nevertheless, you have 6 seconds of speech, and then we'll move to the Manticore's turn.
We may be able to turn its flaking self back into pages of this book. Maybe. I don't know.
As you mutter to yourself quietly behind a sofa.
Crouching.
Crouching. Well, let's see. The Manticore is going to make 3 attacks. Oh, goes for Dahren'L. Dahren'L, you have angered it greatly. It rears back and it's just going to go full on 2 claws and a bite on top of you. An 8, a 20, and a natural 20.
Oh, gracious.
Slam, slam, bite. 7 points of slashing damage. 1 you dodge, 1 you take on the shoulder. The bite for double damage, but it only slams down for 9 points of damage, 16 total. It's got you in its mouth, and he just lifts you up off the ground momentarily and then drops you back down, blood soaking at your feet. And then it is going to lift up off the ground using its flight and go 30 feet in the air, and it prepares its tail spikes from an aerial point of view. Rose. How is Rose feeling?
Help! Somebody! I'm so alone! What do I perceive and feel in this book page?
You feel two-dimensional. It's as if you are on the inside of another world, watching through a small scope this drama unfold with this manticore and these newfound friends. You see Geraldine looking into the book, trying to poke, and as she touches the effect of you on the page, you feel a strong, uncomfortable sensation as if someone's just encroaching upon your very existence. But you smell the foods, the yam toppers, the Walder mash, the tongue stew, lock and pops, and the Ritz. And you sense that you can crawl through each of the pages as long as you remain in the book.
Well, that piece of information about crawling through the pages changed my plan. Because I was going to see if any of my spells would make it out or turn around. But, I have a speed of 40 right now. So I just kind of want to get on my hands and claws and just start sprinting towards what I think is the front of the book, hoping that I can find the finish.
And you tear through the book, just page after page after page of this ancient cookbook. And you do move through the pages to the front of the book and then slam right into the cover. And at the cover, you see that this book is written indeed by Timothy Tooth.
I'm Timothy Tooth. I'm the storyteller here. Anyways, do I get a bonus action, or is that all of it?
You can do a bonus action.
I'm just gonna look up, and I'm gonna see Dahren'L, and he's big and strong and handsome. And I'm just gonna say, please help me. And I don't know if it will reach him or not, but I will try to give him bardic inspiration. It might not reach him, but that's what I would do.
I like it. Dahren'L, you hear the peaked voice of Rose, and you see that her image is plastered as if she's looking at you through a window, face pressed up against the pages of this book. And just something about her appearance inspires you to greatness.
And I am College of Valor, so you have combat inspiration. So you basically get a D8 that you can add to any roll to increase your armor class, to add to your damage, to add to your attack, to add to a skill check or a save.
And it is your turn.
Being slammed to the ground, there's just a cough of wind, and his head is a little bit ringing. He sees Rose and sees her like mumbling something, and then like his head continues to turn and he looks towards Geraldine.
Mm-hmm.
And sees what she's doing, and he's going to cast a second wind on himself. He's going to just he wants to do an investigation to see what she's doing, and as a bonus action, he's going to, as he's doing this, he's like concentrating to get himself back into the fight.
Is there anything in particular you're looking for when you look at her?
He's seeing, first off, where is she in the fray? And does she seem terrified by this experience, or oddly not as panicked as one believe be.
Well, she is pressed up against the book, and you can slightly hear her. Due to her calling out to you, she seems brave and inspirational. Not entirely panicked, but maybe a little uncomfortable.
Okay. And then, yeah, I'm gonna just kind of gasp and take in a second wind.
Squeak, it is your turn.
So he's actually going to move closer in a weird moment of bravery. He's going to move forward, and he's going to get 15 feet away, and he's going to squeak, "You stop that!" And all of a sudden he's going to extend his staff, and you're going to see these bright lights coming out of his hand, and he's pointing it right at the Manticore's face. And if the Manticore has less than 34 hit points left, he will be blinded by my color spray.
Nice, it does have less than 34 hit points. This color spray splashes, and you see the illuminating colors reflect in the Manticore's eyes, and it sprays a mess of tears, lifts its head back up, and then blinks blindly towards you.
Good, well, he can blink towards me as I back up 10 feet still.
Blinded is the Manticore. Regal, you may proceed.
All right. Regal picks up the book and carries it with him as he walks across the room, feeling emboldened by the Manticore's blindness. He is going to, again, cautiously, most of his magic is fire. It's not a great setting for using fire magic. It's going to very cautiously cast. Oh, let's go, I guess, Firebolt. It's a 17 to hit.
Manticore is struck.
10 fire damage.
10 fire damage. It engulfs the Manticore blinded, and during this round, it is on fire and singeing, attempting to regenerate. You have bought yourself a free turn, but you can still see the pages are trying to move together, but combined with your fire, they're having a hard time defeating this cycle of destruction.
Aha! It's like a troll!
It is the Manticore's turn, in which it is stunned and skipped as it tries to regenerate itself from 0 hit points. It will do nothing on this turn, but you can see that 7 hit points worth of pages now adhere to its skin. Near the tail, the most precious part of it. Rose, your turn.
My message made it to Dahren'L. Then I will use my bonus action to give Bardic Inspiration to Regal, who I see coming forward. And then I'll see how far my voice carries with Dissonant Whisper. And I'm going to cast it at level 2. So Wisdom saving throw, 3d6 psychic damage. If it fails, it has to move as far away from me as it can. If it saves, it, doesn't take all the damage. 6?
Got a 7 on its save. Terrible.
Yeah, he failed, so that's 15 points of psychic damage. And if he has any speed, because I know you said he was down to 0, he has to use all that to get as far away from me as possible. But he won't go to somewhere dangerous. And I told you 15 damage, right?
All right, yeah. He takes the 15 damage, disintegrates into nothingness, except this loose leaf of papers, and it shimmers. And you see thousands of bits of papers swarming around like a school of fish, huddle into the corner in fear, and then try to reassemble in the next round. You've held it off for another round, but you can still see it trying to push it together. Top of the round, the brownies try to escape. Ooh, a 19. What was that? That sleight of hand check was above 20, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was 23.
Nice. They still struggle. They're trying to get out, but they roll the curtain. The bundled curtain is just rolling on the side like a little toy. Squeak. In this chaos, in this mess, these books that are disorganized, this manticore that is not relenting, this mysterious magic door that has entrapped Rose. What is Squeak to do?
There's no manticore to attack anymore, right?
It seems as if you are just simply keeping it from regenerating at this point.
Ugh. I think... Oh, man. I think Squeak would probably just cast magic missiles at whatever was there and try to keep it down because he's not looking forward to that thing coming back.
Easy enough. Yeah, you launch your magic missile and just keep
13.
the pages just blast off into space in some attempt to regenerate, but at this point it's not even a semblance of a creature. It's more like just a collection of pages and writing swirling around in a sphere. Dahren'L.
Dahren'L shoots back up on his feet. And seeing the Manticore kind of contain for a moment, he's going to turn around and he's going to cautiously place his hand on the page that Rose is behind and to see what happens if he touches it.
You place your hand.
Don't touch me.
Rose, you feel his hand move through the pages and gently apprehend you.
Hello there. Sorry. Actually, I would grab onto what I can feel of him and just cling like a frightened animal and hope that just try to claw my way out, climbing on top of him.
Yeah.
Dahren'L.
And I'm just gonna pull.
Okay. Contested strength checks, like rescuing a drowning victim. She clambers onto you. Highest athletics wins. Though she is strong, you are stronger still, and you pull half of her through. Half of her form is moving through the page while the other half is still inside the book. Anything else?
Help!
No, I'll just pause the frame at that.
Very cool. Regal. Book in hand.
He is going to cast Mending with all his might. Regal imagines that he will cast Mending on the book, and like happened before, the pages will assemble themselves from around the room into the book. He thinks that these pages couldn't come because they weren't in the room. They were trapped in the Manticore creature, maybe. So that's the thought. He's going to close his eyes and cast Mending and sort of peek out after a moment and see if any pages are flying through the air, Mary Poppins style.
Do you have any sort of bonus or inspiration besides any Arcana check is what you're going to make?
I do have that combat bardic inspiration.
All right. Well, you, Regal, just focus everything trying to locate these pages that have been missing from the Book of Timothy Tooth. You do need to make a 20 or higher.
Okay, so that was a straight 18, or a 18 plus 2. So here comes that extra die. It's a 3, which is just enough.
Fantastic. 25 breaking through. Regal focuses with Mending. And sure enough, from bits of the Manticore, a page moves. From out under a pile of books, another page comes to you. Squeak, you're standing on a page, and it rips out underneath your feet, and you plop your butt upon the ground. Oh. Pages from different parts of the room come assembling one after the other, filing into neat and perfect order, reforming the search for Timothy Tooth. Rose, you feel someone on the cover. Timothy Tooth begin to wiggle out, and he tears through the cover of this overlarged book. And standing before you, Rose, now pushing you and Dahren'L out onto the floor, tumbling out of this page, this book door, is a small 2.5-foot mouse with a rapier and a large plumed hat. Regal, how do you respond?
As he casts the spell with his eyes closed. He starts to hear the papers flying around the room. He carefully opens an eye and is happy to see everything going just exactly how he planned. And he sort of leans heavily on his staff and has a breather, takes a breather, satisfied.
Timothy raises up his rapier and whistles and says, "Sinbad, get back in your home!" The Manticore pages become docile, rush back into the book, and the door closes with the twinkle of the bronze breastplate glinting in the final light of the library. Timothy slams the door shut, locks it, puffing and panting. Squeak. The room is now quiet. Geraldine's nearly passed out upon the floor. Pages are scattered even more so everywhere. How do you respond?
Are you Timothy Tooth? Because I hope so. Otherwise, we're going to have to fight you too.
Ha ha ha! You would never win. Of course I am Timothy Tooth. And while I have you to thank for finding me out. And he's got this large collection of teeth on his necklace, on his bracelets, anklets. And he pulls back his vest and just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, there they are. Oh, good, they're all there. His collection of teeth. Yes, I am Timothy Tooth. I've got quite a job to do, and I'm very far behind.
I don't know what that job is, but you have a lot of teeth. I'm going to keep working on these books.
Well, I suppose we all have our part to play in the universe.
Having Rose's force just kind of pull us back and then see this short-statured individual, which I feel is about the same height as Squeak, no less. No? Anyway, he's going to take a breather and attend to Geraldine on the floor.
Oh, she takes your hand and bats her eyes at you as you lift her up off the ground. Oh, I need you to make a charisma saving throw, DC 13.
Yeah, that's it. That's an 8. But if she's trying to charm me,
she is.
I have advantage.
Hey, this
As
is
a
how babies
half-elf.
are made in this game.
I know.
She's not a fairy.
But you do have advantage to health, though. You're
I do have advantage to charm. So I rolled a 7 on my first roll and a 7 on my second. So 8 it is.
You, as your eyes lock together, she... Oh, you know, I was nervous before, but I'm nervous for different reasons now. She smiles at you, and you recognize her as the person you want to be around the most at this moment. Become very interested in her as much as you can be.
Oh, well, yes, I just wanted to make sure that you were okay.
I am now.
Well, I'm so glad that you were not hurt in the scuffle that we have encountered.
Oh,
Here, let me help you up.
oh, please. Oh, yes, of course. And she actually lifts her whole body up into your arms, whether you intended that or not. I'm fine. The doorway's that way. I could use a glass of water and maybe a glass of wine and some food. That reading through that book was really brought out an appetite.
Ah, yes, perhaps we could go over to the Bald Top Brew later and grab a cactia drink.
I mean, I feel like this is moving at a rapid speed. The bell dings again, and Timothy Tooth rushes over and says, "Oh, I hate this thing." He pulls out a 5 gold piece and drops it into the well, and it swivels down and unlocks the door. Dahren'L and Geraldine cross over the threshold towards the Bald Top Brew. Rose.
My intention was when he's having this conversation, Rose fell out of the book, picked herself up, and she sees Dahren'L as her savior. So when you've already had them walk out the room, but my intention was she was about to flying tackle hug him in the middle of his making eyes with what's her face? Girlfriend.
Well, now he is carrying her since she hopped into his arms. They're crossing over the threshold. Having missed your moment, would you still proceed that way?
Absolutely, this is Rose. She is going to running tackle from the behind, doesn't even care who is in the arms, doesn't completely missed this whole moment they've had, and just flying tackle, hug him from behind. Dahren'L, you saved me! I was in a book and I've never been two-dimensional before, but actually, it was really cool and I could smell all the food and I should have probably sampled some of those things, not the tongue thing. But I really think I missed out, but oh my gosh, you're my savior! And just like plant a big kiss on his cheek.
Acrobatics or athletics checks, DC 13. If you fail...
Wait, that's +5. I have a 16.
You do, crashing right past Squeak, crashing into Dahren'L and Geraldine. The three of you are now once again piled on top of each other, right at the threshold of the door.
I don't know what I would have done if I was still in there. I mean, I would have eaten really well. I would have gotten quite round. Oh, she looks over at Squeak. Is that a rude thing to say? Anyways, and her tail is just bouncing and bouncing. And she's just talking. She's just going to keep talking until you stop her.
I mean, how does charm person work? Is it a concentration on Geraldine's part?
No.
How can I break it?
Wakes an hour. It's after an hour.
Oh, okay. I beg your pardon, Rose. Please. Geraldine and I were going to get a drink, and
I would love a drink. I'll go with you. Hey, Regal, Squeak, we're gonna go get drinks. Do you want to come get drinks with us? We almost died. How about you, Mr. Mouse Man? You know, I have a third cousin who's a mouse. Geraldine
is now pulling Dahren'L by the hand out the door. I think Squeak has got the organization just fine. We can
that's
go.
How you get fired.
Oh, I don't care anymore.
As she pulls, Dahren'L is just gonna yell back to Regal. Regal, please take those brownies to Kalan. Thank you. And he's just gonna be pulled.
Regal sighs and stands back up. Very well. Oh, young love. And he makes his way across the room and picks up the curtain sack.
Hey, easy. Whoa, hey. Turbulence, major turbulence coming in. Looks like we're about to get...
down in there.
Are you going to banish us?
Well, I certainly won't, but I'll take you to those who will be able to do what's right.
I'll tell you a knock-knock joke if you let us go. It's a real winner.
I'm sure I've heard them all.
Oh, come on. There's always room for more comedy in your life. It's never too old.
How about you tell me on the way?
Oh, hey, this guy could make a good fairy. Knows how to swindle. They chatter in conversation. And Squeak, you're barely left with Timothy Tooth in the room. He's patting himself down, rearranging his vest and his waistcoat.
Timothy Tooth, Mr. Timothy, sir, is this your room? Are you in charge of these books in this place? Because I
Oh, this place? No, absolutely not. This is not my place at all. My place is in the dreams of every child. I've got quite a bit of work to do. Returning to the dreams of children who want some solace for losing a piece of their body. It's a very quite tragic thing to grow up, don't you know?
Well, I hope that you're talking about losing a tooth, because if they lost a finger or an elbow or an eye, that would really be bad.
Oh no, that's the other Fey courts. Losing a finger is a bad thing if you're a naughty little boy or girl, for certain, but losing a tooth is a great honor. And I love bringing solace to those fearful minds.
I lost some teeth a while ago, but I don't think Timothy Tooth came to the gnomes, so I didn't give you any of my teeth, I don't think, but
of course we come to...
now, so...
No, well, of course we come to the gnomes. I could search my records and prove to you. Do you not remember? Certainly you received something on your pillow the night you lost your teeth. Well, let me look at you. Let me see. He begins to inspect the inside of your mouth to see if you have all your adult teeth. Oh, you are no. He pats your little chubby cheeks and says, "You are still a young gnome. Don't you understand that? You're not like the humans. You have still yet to lose your teeth. You have quite a long life ahead of you. I'm sure I will be visiting you soon, Mr. Squeak, it was."
Squeak, yes. Well, that'll be nice. I hope I get to visit with you. I'm going to stay here and organize the books since this isn't your place and Geraldine left and these books are still a mess. I'm going to stay here and organize these books. I hope that's okay. Thank you.
Very well, Mr. Squeak, and thank you again on behalf of all the children in the world. Timothy Tooth runs out the door, leaving Squeak with this mess of books. Within a couple hours, Squeak, set to himself with the privacy of his own company, writes all the books back into place. Kalan steps through the door. "Geraldine, have you gotten this done?" Oh, I'm sorry. Is Geraldine still here? As you put the last of the books together.
No, sir, Mr. Sir. My name is Squeak, but my friends call me Squeak. Miss Geraldine left, and it was a little bit of a mess in here, but I knew how to put it together, so everything's back in order. I hope that's okay. I wanted just to help out a little bit. I hope it's okay.
It's more than okay. She's not here. Is that what I understand?
No, she's gone. She went with Dahren'L. I think they're having a drink. I don't know. They seemed to want a drink.
Well, it is Dahren'L's day off, but it was not her day off, so she will expect many more days off. You, however, Squeak, if you can claim ownership of this room, may have just landed yourself a promotion. How do you feel about that?
Well, I really like books, and I was doing a lot of work in the main library, but this tower is much nicer, and these books seem to be books that I can take care of myself, and then I don't have to do all the chores for the other librarians. Then they made me do some of the not fun stuff also, but I'm really happy to be here. Thank you, sir. Can you make that decision, sir?
Yes, I can make that decision, and I think you'll work fine just by yourself. Wonderful. I'll make sure everything gets in order. Have a good day.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Kalan steps through the doorway, leaving Squeak inside the library in Tower 31. And so for now, our story concludes.
That was a trip.
Awesome.
Wow, well done, everybody.
That was a good game.
Every story comes to an ending, so for now we must conclude. Thank you for listening, Sojourners. Your attention will not go unrewarded, and we look forward to continuing this adventure. If you enjoyed this background music and ambiance, you should visit Tabletop Audio. Find them at www.tabletopaudio.com. And take the time to sojourn with us. For articles on playing your very own Dungeons & Dragons games, visit www.sojournersawake.com. And look forward to continuing episodes at Baldtop Library. But however you choose to sojourn with us, as always, may your story continue.